What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of the Moto Outsider. We are covering all things High Point, and we had some awesome racing. So lots to discuss in this video. But as always, joined by my beautiful long-haired co-host, wearing a different hat and a different shirt today, but not cutting his hair, Mr. Chris Baird. How are you, brother, man?
Matt, I'm doing well, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got my yellow shirt on, and I want you to ask me why I'm wearing my yellow shirt.
Matt, why the hell are you wearing a lime yellow shirt?
Let me tell you, because Ken Roczen came out of nowhere, made one phone call, and almost gets himself a freaking moto win, which was crazy.
I mean, he led both motos at one point.
And not only that, he was the first guy that almost, keyword here is almost, knocked off Jett's perfect score win streak so far.
Wow.
And I think, yeah, exactly. Wow. Some guy who just came, not some guy, but a guy who came out just with one moto, you know what I mean? I mean, not even racing outdoors yet, just comes out swinging. So,
unreal.
Guys, that's actually the question of the day, because we always want you guys to shoot a question and answer down in the comments, and that is Jett going to go undefeated this year, or is someone going to beat him? And if someone's going to beat him, who is it? So let us know down in the comments. But Chris, man, if you had to guess, who's going to beat Jett?
I think, oh man, I don't know. Maybe Ferrandis or Roczen, but that's all I got. Because Plessinger has not been showing up. I don't know what's been going on. He's been fast, but not consistent. Who do you think?
Right. I think the only guy, because in my honest opinion, I don't think the 450 field is deep enough for anybody to beat Jett. Is there talent in the 450 class? Yes. But I mean, Jett proved you right, because you've said this in multiple videos that Jett doesn't ride 100%. Dude, look at the end of the 450 Moto 2. Yeah. Roczen's out front, and Jett's like, oh, damn, I got to go win me a race. Shrinks his lead from 7 seconds down to 2, down to 1, passes him, and then extends his lead over Roczen by, I think he ended it with 3 to 5 second lead over Roczen, if not more, to end the last lap. So dude, I just don't think there's anybody's going to beat this cat. But if there is somebody, I think it would be Cincerillo.
Okay, all right. I mean, he showed some promise in Moto 2. He really did. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he showed promise, and I know that I think if he's on, you got to catch him on a good day. And I think if Cincerillo's having a good day, man, he'll come out swinging and just get out front and make something happen. But High Point was a tricky track, man. We saw a lot of these guys slipping and sliding, going down in the low spots or the valleys in between the jumps. What were your thoughts on High Point just as a track?
Yeah, High Point as a track looked like a lot of fun. Again, I know people are probably sick of hearing about it. We talk about Unadilla all the time, but I've raced that amateur day so many times, probably a dozen times, if not more. It reminds me of the Unadilla Amateur Day that they used to have before the National, and I think they still do, but it's not the same. Those tracks used to be so ruddy in the morning. There's ruts in every corner, 10 ruts. You'd be dragging pegs on the first lap of practice, which was a lot of fun. But it reminded me of that. It was a lot like Thunder Valley as well. And for what practice was to how the second motos were, like the track came around a ton. So I think it provided really good racing, and it did seem to slow the guys down a little bit. Besides, the roller section, Justin Cooper unfortunately paid the price there. But
yeah, he had a nasty get off, man, and he got backboarded out too, which you never want to see. So hopefully he's okay. But is there an injury update on him? Do you know?
Yeah, he didn't say what necessarily, but I saw a post he put up today. I'll put it on the screen. I guess he said his neck started, or his throat was swelling up when he got to the Asterisk Medical Unit, the Alpine Stars Medical Unit, excuse me. So they rushed him to a local hospital, stayed at the hospital overnight, and I guess he took his little private jet home. His girlfriend's family got him the jet home for the day. So I'm happy he's home and healthy, because he had a weird mark like up his chest and like to his shoulder. I guess his handlebars like crushed him. It was a really rough crash. Yeah, check that post out. It was crazy.
I guess it pays to have some muscle mass on you and not be a little 250 guy, right? No, I'm just kidding. But I know he's always flying private, man. He's like big balling in the 250 class.
Yeah, I think the girlfriend's family has some money, which again, props to them. No hate at all. Like that's super cool. They get to fly in that thing. So hey,
Justin. I mean, hey, Chris and I, we're from your hometown, dude. If you want to get us on the private jet, we'll do a nice little episode on the jet. We'll go wherever you want to go. Just tell the pilots. We'll show up.
I don't know if he claims us. He's like, like Manhattan or that lower New York City. Staten Island, I think, is where he's from.
Is that where he's from?
Long Island, one of the islands. I don't know. I can't keep track.
I'm Italian, so I'll just fit in anywhere down there. It's fine, even though Cooper's not Italian at all.
Good point.
But dude,
point.
let's talk the 250s because
Yeah.
some of those guys were ripping, and I mean I was bummed to see Justin Cooper go down. But what were your thoughts on the 250s, man?
Yeah, 250s. Again, we talk about it every week. There are so many people who can win. I'm going to say that word again,
Yep.
can win.
Right.
We're not seeing a ton of winners. RJ Hampshire looked like the guy yesterday. He really did. He was flying. But it's that class. Right. It's just there's always controversy and chaos. He wins the first moto. He crashes in the first turn of the second moto. Has to work his way all the way back and goes 7-2 for, was that what he won? I think 1-7 for second overall. So,
right.
Damn, it's just like you kind of shake your head at it. It's crazy.
And wasn't Chance Hymas doing good, and some of those newer guys were doing good too? I know Deegan had a little get off in one of the hole shots, I think, or something like that, got held up. Yeah. So there was like a nice little shakeup in how the the race, each moto ended.
Yeah, Deegan also crashed in the first turn of the second moto all by himself, just a weird little like washout. And Hymas was running really well. Hymas, again, he's rough. He's kind of like Hunter. He has rough first motos and good second motos. He was leading the second moto for, I think, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, which was really cool. And then he faded back to around 6th. I think he ended up, 5th in the second moto. So he's still young. It's his rookie season. I mean, I give him all the credit for that. That's, you know, that pressure leading the race. We talked about it before.
Oh, for sure.
You kind of start to pump up. You forget to breathe a little bit. So give him time.
I forget to breathe. I forgot to breathe, man. Even just our amateur races, it's like, I mean, sprints. Obviously you don't forget to breathe, but it's like I would find myself panting uncontrollably.
It's the sprints, you don't, like, you have 4 laps, like you just don't think about it. You're thinking about the idiots around you, especially in the classes we race.
Quite literally.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, was there really anything else notable in the 250s? I think DiFrancesco had a little bit of a better weekend over last weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Ryder D looked really good. He was 5th in the first moto and 8th in the second moto. He looked really strong. He was running up top 5 again second moto, but he got passed by the guys. Joe Shimoda again has just another rough first moto. Again, him and Hunter and Chance are all kind of having that issue. But he came back for the second moto. It was looking really fast. He made a second to last turn pass on Levi Kitchen to get 3rd in the second moto, which was really, really cool. Again, Joe just has the speed. He just needs to put it together. I truly think Joe will get a win or two this season. It's just going to take, I don't know, the right conditions or something to happen to Hunter. But yeah, Joe's been looking good. And that's something I wanted to mention to you too. You didn't see, Hunter gets these rough starts and he rides really smart. He rides very mature. Not over his head. And I think as the season goes on, he's a bigger, kind of heavier guy. And I don't mean like big, but I feel like he's a little bit taller and he doesn't get the best starts all the time. I don't see him maybe winning as much and or pushing as hard because he has a almost 50-point lead now. There's no need for him to, I think it might even be over 50 points, but there's no need for him to be pushing it, Yeah, he has a 30-some point lead. So
yeah, now the strategy is going to shift from push to okay, get out in front and just ride your race. You're better than a majority of the field anyways. So get out front, stay out front, just keep it on 2 and bring it on home. I think as the season goes on, definitely once we get past Unadilla, he'll just be in cruise control mode and probably just be bringing it home. Probably won't even have to show up to the last 2-3 races and still win.
Yep.
But I think the strategy is just going to change. I like his riding style a lot, man, and I like the mature. How you said he rides mature. That is, I think that's a perfect analogy for how he rides, which is why when he gets to the 450s, it'll be very interesting to see him and his brother comparison wise next to each other, same bike, in the same motos. It'll be fascinating. But what was interesting, like just going to the 450s, it was interesting to see that Roczen was the fastest qualifier for the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Over Jett.
No, absolutely, yeah. And before we jump too far in, like we're talking about these guys, Roczen, Hunter, and Jett, and Tom DUEL. He rode really well that second moto. He was pushing, and he got the gap within, I think, 2 or 3 seconds of Hunter. I just want to mention him before we jumped out of the 250 class because Tom is obviously an MX2 world champion, 2-time champion. It's weird to me seeing him have such a slow start to the season, but he has mentioned in multiple interviews that it's the kind of like the adjustment thing. Like they have qualifying races over there, so they have a full day of racing on the track before they actually race their motos. Where he's jumping in, he gets 2 practice sessions, and then it's hammer time. Like he has to go. So I think he's adjusting to that. But once he kind of gets used to that, the whole just starting your day off, like it's that cold start. Like you just got to go. Once he adjusts, I think he's going to be a threat. And next season, I could see him winning the championship easily, very easily, because he's a very smooth rider.
Wow.
Good lines, very fast.
Big old claim right there, Christopher.
Yeah, wow. It was impressive watching him in that second moto.
But going back to your point, though, do you really think there is an adjustment period? Do you really think that riding? I mean, he's an insane talent.
Yeah.
Is it really that hard to unlearn those habits or train your body different? I mean, all these guys do is eat, sleep, ride, and train. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just wondering if that truly is valid. I would love to ask him, but
yeah, no, for sure. I think for me, more than anything, you look at the technology that's available today, the dartfish and all the other stuff they have to, kind of just the dartfish essentially it's a GPS and it tracks their lines, and you can see the faster lines, you can see other riders' lines. They don't have time to do that, or as much time to do that, and the faster lines, develop as the day goes on. So I think it's that whole where is the best lines? I think there's more of a guessing game going into the first moto because they only have 20-ish minutes of track time to really see who's doing what, who's going fast. But I think I get what you're saying. I don't know if it's a real big adjustment for him, but I'm sure it's a little different after 4 or 5 seasons over there. It probably is kind of an adaptation to what he's doing now compared to what he was doing.
For sure, man. And I can't imagine, it's 30 plus 2. And especially in the heat and everything, a little bit, the climate's much different here than it is over in England and the UK and all over, Europe.
Yeah.
But dude, it's like, I couldn't imagine 30 plus 2 balls to the wall at their heart rate, whatever their heart rate is, over 150 per minute.
No.
It's just, I mean, that it has to be incredibly taxing on the body, and you got to do it twice in one day.
Yeah, that's why these guys are so elite, and in my opinion, hardest sport in the world. You can't tell me otherwise. There's nothing else out there like racing a dirt bike.
Physically, man, I don't know. I don't know of a sport that can compete with what motocross and supercross demands of you physically.
Yeah. Well, there's so few guys who get to the top. It's not like we have 20 guys who win every weekend. There's 3 to 5 guys realistically who can really win the 450 class. I mean, I don't know. What do you even Supercross? Supercross proves that every year. We do not get more than 5 winners in the premier Supercross class.
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just let's get more trainers on here and talk about it because I love the physical aspect of the sport. I think it's just fascinating. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
But dude, just jumping into the 450s, man. Ken Roczen makes a phone call, gets his butt out to High Point.
Yeah.
And gets out there and becomes the fastest qualifier of the day. Saw that, sent it to you. We were talking about it, dude. I thought for sure this might have been the weekend that the Tower of Jett falls over. And Roczen, almost made it happen, but dude, Jett was just cruising, man. Since Rula was up there battling, but I think the lack of depth in the 450 class just proved that it's gonna be a quick season in the 450s too.
No, absolutely. Roczen was that Jenga piece that almost knocked down Jett. It was so close. But yeah, Kenny does what he normally does, what you expect from him. Throws down absolute heaters, super fast.
Yep.
And I'm not saying he was tired, but I think he fell off a little bit at the end of both motos. Obviously, Jett caught and passed him. And like you talked about in the beginning with what I've been saying, and I think other people probably agree that Jett doesn't always ride 100%. He turns it up when he needs to, kind of rides that line, and he did it again. Visorless both motos. He crashed in the first moto, and the second moto he just took his time, realistically. He just took his time getting up there and made the move happen. So I think they said David Bailey's the only one who's gone 8-0 in the first rookie season essentially.
Yep.
So this is a really, really big deal, and they talked about it a little bit this weekend in the broadcast. But his ceiling is going to be super high. We talked about it too. Damn, Jett, I don't know. It's kind of almost boring. I hate saying that.
Right.
I love outdoors, but it's kind of boring to watch. Luckily, Ken came in this weekend and threw a little wrench in there, but
for sure,
we didn't see much of Masterpool. We didn't see much of the other guys really duking it out.
Right, and it's wild just to see this guy get out front and just check out. Much like Formula One, you can predict who's going to win pretty much every weekend, and motocross is becoming that. But one thing we got to give a shout out to Ken for, man, is that 450 Moto 2 hole shot was one of the crispiest hole shots I have ever seen.
Oh,
like that was
they showed
sick.
The drone view, and he railed the inside rut, and then he was gone. That was so good.
But I mean, let's talk about that for a second. I love the use of drone footage in the motos live. I think it's awesome. The perspective is sick, especially if you got a good battle going on. That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you got to catch that in I think it was the first 250 moto, but the RJ's roost actually hit the drone.
Yes.
And that thing was up probably like 20 or 30 feet. So I was just like, damn, dude, like that's a cool perspective. And you don't always realize how far the roost can go off the back tire. I mean, how much power those bikes have, excuse me, I can't talk right now. But yeah, the drones are really cool. And I like that they are just doing the whole track. They have someone first person flying it. Like, good improvement, good technological advancement in our sport. We need that stuff.
For sure.
More of it, please.
Yep. And it's more of those unique, I'm trying to think of the right word, but those X factors that are going to make the sport more appealing, right? Because, I mean, if you're watching these guys, dude, imagine, okay, they're going over Larocco's leap or the sky shot, the drone's next to them. You know, Roczen throws a whip or Jett throws a whip, and you get that cool perspective. Like, it's those little moments that'll go viral on social media and, you know, just draw more eyeballs to the sport, because that's what we need, man.
It's coming. I know we need those viral TikToks. You know, all I gotta say to the drone guy is good luck at Washougal, buddy. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, without it.
In the trees.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Those big ass palm trees are gonna knock you down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that's a fun track to watch too. Just a little side note.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a very hard pack, but there's always some good battles there. You know, we've watched a lot of good racing. Tomac was flying there last year. I'm a fan. I'll do the Dodger Nationals. Oh, man. As boring as it's been, I gotta say it in quotes, boring. It's been really good. 250 class has delivered every single weekend.
Yeah, 250 class has been much more fun to watch, and I know you said that last weekend too. But it's true. 250s are a blast to watch because the bikes are way more wide open because these guys know how to ride them, you know, to the T. But, you know, 450s are just as fun too. But when I was looking at the results, and you really just like, once you get past 4th, 5th, 6th place, it's like, yeah, it's just you know,
it's like
forget it. Yeah, who even is that? And the names are
no disrespect.
No disrespect at all. But it's just, you know, I want to see more guys in there shaking it up. Like seeing Chance Hymas out for, like, you know, running in the top 3 in the 250s was nice to see, man. It's cool.
Yes, very cool. You know, you don't see that a lot. The 250 class has opened up a ton, and again, we look at the equipment getting so good. Not saying guys are more equal, but, you know, the Star Yamaha is not, you know, dominantly faster than the other bikes now. Honda's kind of figuring their stuff out. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really good season. And it's just the rookies, man. Like, there's a lot of good rookies. Ryder D stepping it up.
Yep.
Again, Hymas. Caden Braswell was really consistent. Talon Hawkins was up there for a little bit. I'm just excited to see where the future goes in the 250 class, because I don't think we've seen, like, I think Deegan's going to be the next big thing, but I'm curious to see who can also take another step up. Is it going to be Kitchen next year? Is it going to be, you know, Ryder D on a gas? Like, which one of these guys is going to make that leap and really start, you know, who's going to be the man of the 250 class?
Right.
Because Hunter and Jett are probably going to be gone. Obviously Jett, but, you know, Hunter's probably going up too.
Hunter's going to join him. I mean, do you think Deegan, anyone's going to even be able to hang with him at that point? Because I know, dude, Deegan, I feel like he's just going to be that kid. He's going to have a breakout year, and it's going to be like, wow, look at this kid go.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's rookie season. He's making mistakes.
Yep.
We haven't seen a lot of big crashes, but we do see a little bit of inconsistency in both Supercross and outdoors so far. So, I hate to say it, but we kind of got to hope for some more of that next year.
For sure. Man. And it's we don't know what injury is going to come up and shake things up like crazy, because it's completely possible as we roll through the outdoors. And as, you know, maybe hopefully we see a mud moto come in through some, you know, at one of these races. But I mean, it's just pretty much the talk of the town is going to be Jett. I think it's just how it's going to roll for the rest of the year. I mean, they were talking about it in the booth. Weege and RC were talking about it. And Weege was even poking at Carmichael saying, you know, is he going to pull the undefeated season just like you did? And I mean, it's very, very possible. And every weekend that goes on, it just reinforces the fact that it could happen. I don't think it will, but it is definitely possible.
Yeah. And I actually want to throw one thing at you before we wrap this up.
Fire away.
I was thinking about this a little bit, but, you know, we saw from Jett this weekend two very, I want to say uncharacteristic, I guess, compared to the first 6 motos we had. You know, he didn't get he wasn't the first one to the finish line. He didn't get both of those hole shots. Do you think there was any pressure in the back of his mind having Roczen there? Essentially, Roczen is probably the only guy who really, he's elite, right? I mean, Ferrandis and Webb and all them guys are elite, but Roczen has been around a while.
Yep.
He has a little bit of history with Roczen's family. Do you think he was, I don't know if he was nervous, but do you think there was more pressure on him? And then also, do you think that this 8 moto wins now does the pressure get him at some point, and does he actually make a mistake and blow it because of the pressure? He's 19, bro.
Right.
19 years old.
So
we expect a lot out of this kid. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I think the answer is obviously twofold because there's two questions there. So the first question about him feeling pressure from Roczen, I think the answer is absolutely. Because Roczen came out and in practice was the fastest qualifier. So immediately in your head, you're like, okay, Roczen's quick. I was top dog. And now Roczen shows up to one race and now he's the fastest guy.
Yeah.
So
he's hyped all week.
Yes, that definitely, probably got in his head a little bit if I had to guess. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to, the races and everything like that, and you can kind of have that 30 minutes to settle into your ride and you're like, okay, Roczen's out front, then it's Cincerulo, then it's me. We know that we're kind of the top three. All right, check off Cincerulo. Now I'm just behind Roczen and I'm reeling him in. I think that's when he started to reinforce his confidence that he actually was faster and can catch him. I'm almost wondering if the pressure got to Roczen more so than it did Jett. And here's what I mean. Roczen's out front Moto 2.
Yep.
The race is boiling down. 5 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Maybe he's getting a little tired because he's getting excited. He's like, damn, I'm about to pull this off. I'm going to beat this kid. I'm coming out of nowhere for one weekend, and I'm going to grab a win. Maybe he got in his own head because I know the moment that the pass happened with Jett, where Jett passed Roczen, I think Roczen actually took the slowest line by accident or something, and Jett just railed the outside and smoked him on the uphill. I think that's how it took place. I'm almost wondering if a mistake got to Roczen more so than it did Jett, and if Roczen just rode a little bit smoother or a little bit more, flawless, he probably would have brought it on home.
Absolutely, yeah. You do wonder. I mean, it's always a what if, but at the same time, we've seen Roczen kind of have this same issue since his injury in 2017. He's never been super strong in outdoors. He's kind of had trouble finishing.
Right.
We did see some really good rides in 2020, some really good battles with him and Plessinger, but too much what if there. I would love to see him line up for a full season, but he made it sound like he's going to do a couple more, so I really hope he does.
That'd be sweet.
We need more battles. We need more hype. We need more competition in the 450 class, man. I'm ready for it.
I mean, imagine if all the 450 dogs were back. And now, mind you, this is not a slight to Jett. We're not throwing shade at Jett at all. It's just in the name of great sportsmanship and competition. It would be sick to see, Tomac up there, Barsha, Hampshire, not Hampshire. What's his name? Yeah. He just had a kid from New Mexico. Why am I drawing a massive Anderson? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Having Anderson up there, it would just be it would be great to see all those guys back up because Tomac has the most he's coming up on the most wins. He's got like 84 podiums or something like that. They threw the stat up during the during the broadcast, but Roczen,
big record.
Yeah, Roczen back, dude. It just missed those days.
And Jett probably wants that, Jett wants that competition. He doesn't want anyone to say, oh, you didn't have all the guys there. He wants to be like, I dominated. I was the guy this year.
Right.
But I think next year is going to be the proving point. Supercross, if he can make it through 17 rounds healthy. Right. I think he's going to be the next, McGrath type of guy. He's going to go on these runs. And sucks for Chase because Chase is really, starting to make his name. And then Jett comes up and is like, Chase who? Right. Not really, but it's crazy. But that goes to show you how fast the conversation shifts from one rider to another. You are here today, gone tomorrow, dude. Because if Jett went down with a crazy injury, who's next? It's all Webb, Cincerulo, Ferrandis, Cincerulo,
yeah, exactly.
Plessinger,
and then it's okay. Jett's out of the picture that fast.
Yeah. That quick.
But I mean, dude, so let's switch gears and talk about just Supercross real quick, and we'll wrap it up with this. How fast and how good these riders are. And as let's say we're on the gate for Supercross and all the big names are back, everyone's 100% healthy. At what point do you start making these tracks way more difficult / borderline unsafe to kind of tame these guys or their bikes? Or do you think that's Or do you think that's even like the wrong question? I mean, it's almost like these bikes are so fast. These guys are so talented. Is there any track that can make them have slower lap times or make for better racing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's coming out right. But.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I want to think about that one more before I speak on it because, dirt bikes are very fast. Do they need to be that fast? Probably not. Right. But at the same time, they're the professional racers who make all the money. So... Ooh, that's a double-edged sword. But maybe people in the comments can let us know what they think about that. Supercross tracks need to be slowed down. Do they need to be made sketchier? to slow the guys down? What do you guys think? I'm curious to hear that for sure. It's a good discussion that we need to have here soon.
You know what I think, man? I think they need to bring back a 252 stroke class.
Hey, let's go. I mean, there's 3 of them this weekend. We might as well just bring on the class. Let's go.
Exactly. Dude, just make it a full game. Make that the premier television race. 2 strokes will save this sport.
Some people are going crazy right now watching this, saying you guys are idiots.
Dude, come on. Name a better sound than a 252 stroke wide open through the loam, dude.
Yes, sir.
But guys, as always, that pretty much wraps up for High Point, dude. Chris, any amazing knowledge bombs you want to drop on the guests before we wrap this one up?
Look for Sexton and Anderson possibly to be back for Redbud.
Let's go, Redbud.
I don't know, Mumford and some of those other guys who are hurt with PC. Keep an eye on them as well. Faulkner might even be coming back soon. Some guys are riding right now, so we might see some more competition here at Redbud. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
And I hope everybody enjoys the week off because I know I'm going to go crazy in the house.
That's it. But yeah, myself as well, man. But you and I, we got some cool shows coming up, and we're doing a lot of interesting segments too. And we're working on getting those press passes for Unadilla. So pumped about that. So hopefully we can make that happen and pull that together. And the media gods want to bless us with the privilege to walk around the microphone and get some unfiltered access to these guys. That'll be sick. So sick.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
100%. But guys, as always, thanks so much for watching and joining us on this episode of the Moto Outsider. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video with your friends. We want to grow this as organically as possible and be one of the best moto shows on the internet. So please share with all your friends, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.